Hi everyone and welcome to our third session of Live Debt Free. Very exciting program today. We've got my beautiful wife, Urita.
Hi guys.
And she's going to be sharing some of her knowledge on budgeting today. So for our viewers to get to know you a little better, can you tell us one thing about yourself, like what's your hobby?
It's a very boring hobby. I only work out and work and hang out with my family.
Nice.
That's me.
I like eating as well.
Me too.
Let's jump right in. So what we'll be covering today is, what is a budget? What's the importance of budgeting? Why budget? When is the best time to budget? And then Arisa will give us some tips on some basic budgeting. Let's start with, how would you define a budget? What would you say is a budget? The basic definition.
So I would say it's a tool that tells you how you're going to manage your money.
Okay.
It's just a simple plan that tells your money where to go.
Excellent. So would you say it's correct if I say it is basically giving every dirham a name?
Yes, absolutely. So that you're not wondering, what did I spend my money on and where did my money go? It gives you a tool to control your money.
Awesome. Now everyone says that it's important to budget,
Yeah.
but could you tell us why you think it's important?
I think one of the main reasons to budget would be to prioritize your spend, but most importantly, prioritizing your life goals.
Okay.
Because for most of our goals, like retirement goals or purchase goals, we need money ultimately, right? And so with the help of a budget, you can see where you are and you can see what you need to do to get to those goals.
Awesome. So it gives you greater clarity in terms of how to get there and how to achieve those things.
Absolutely.
And actually put steps in place.
Right, because they say goals need to be smart. There needs to be a timeline to it. And knowing where you are financially helps you to put a timeline to it and actually make it more of a reality than just a wish.
Amazing. The question is then, when is the best time to budget? I know that we should budget monthly, not annually, but when is the best time to put together your budget and to start?
I think, in my opinion, right before you get your next salary, I would say, is a great place to start. For the very first time, you sit down and decide, okay, with this new month's salary, this is what I'm going to do with my money. If you have a partner, I would suggest definitely sit down with your wife, with your husband, whoever you need to spend your money with, and agree where that money is going to go before the month begins, not during the process, so that you can have greater control of what you're going to spend your money on.
Sounds good. So now we know about the timing of budgeting, but could you tell us a bit more of what a basic budget looks like? What does it entail, sort of?
Okay, so in very simple terms, you're going to start with your income.
Okay.
You're going to write down your salary or revenue from a business, something like that. So your very first starting point is your income. And then below that, you're going to list down all your expenses. You're going to prioritize your expenses. So you're going to do your shelter, your rent or your mortgage, your food, your electricity, those main basic needs. You're going to start with that. List down all the expenses below that, and what's left over from when you start with your income, deduct your expenses, that is going to be either over or under, right? So what's remaining, you can either prioritize for saving, or you may need to do some tweaks to your expenses to make sure you don't exceed your income. Okay.
I think just to wrap up this session, could you perhaps give our viewers some tips on budgeting? Anything that they could take on board that could make a big difference when they are budgeting and have started and have implemented it?
Sure. So if it's your very first time budgeting, I would spend a few weeks or maybe the first month just seeing how much you spend per category. Because for a lot of us, we're not even thinking when we're spending, right? And so just spend some time. There are different apps you can use or make notes on your phone. Okay, groceries is this much. Fuel is that much. So that's a great thing, and keep tweaking your budget. That's why we do it every single month.
And I just want to add a tip there. One app which I use, which is free on both Android and Apple, is Money Manager. And the great thing about this is you can just add plus as soon as you spend something, add it in the app, and it makes budgeting really easy. This is especially important for those of you who hate Excel or anything like that, and it just gives you a very accurate record at the end of the month of what you're spending and how much you're spending on different things. And like Arita said, it'll create that awareness of spend. So every time you spend it, you go, I'm spending. Do I have the money for this, and is it within my budget? Sorry, carry on.
That's a good point. And the next thing is to use cash. So research suggests that we spend less when we use cash. And so something that I do, I withdraw money, the money for the week as per my budget, and then I put it into categories and I try and spend according to that. If that's impractical, I think choose the categories where you tend to overspend and use cash for that.
Amazing.
Just to keep you in check.
And that'll really discipline you in the areas of spending and prevent you from overspending as well.
Right. My next step is to prioritize your spending. I already mentioned prioritizing food, shelter, but we like to prioritize our saving. So if you're completely out of debt, the first thing we do is we save, and then we move on to spending.
Well, we first give.
Yes. Give, save, spend. Yes, absolutely, that's true, sorry. Okay.
And what a budget does, people, is everyone thinks it actually restricts you more. It actually, when you plan, it gives you greater freedom to spend. So you can actually start planning to give. You can actually start planning for holidays. And the great thing about budgeting is, and when I've spoken to people, people tend to forget that they've signed a check for a certain date for rent.
Right.
Which, I don't know how that happens. So what a budget does is it just helps you keep on track of when your certain spend allocations are going out, so you can save towards them. It's not a surprise that school fees come up every year. It's not a surprise that rent comes up every year.
Right.
So, and it's certainly for all the guys out there, for cars, it's not a surprise that your car needs to go for a service. Okay, so we can all plan towards these things included in our budget, and it will give us a lot more freedom with our finances, like Arita said, to either give, priority, or save, or buy something nice for yourself. But yeah.
Absolutely. The next thing I would say is have loads of grace for yourself. We all fall off the wagon, right? But I think consistency is key. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. So that's my final takeaway, to be kind to yourself and just stick with it, and you'll see the rewards and the freedom that Julian was talking about just now.
Absolutely. So thanks, guys. That's session 3 done. We really appreciate you tuning in. We hope this has been of help to you. Please do, if you do like it, like, subscribe and share. Follow us on social media as well. And we've recently also updated our website, so check it out, livedebtfree.me. If you guys have any other questions, please do send them in, or drop me a line at julian@livedebtfree.me, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. And we do also offer private coaching, and during this time of social distancing, we are offering online coaching as well. So be happy, stay safe, stay home, and be wise with your spending. Bye.
Bye.